Good afternoon, class. My name is Ed. My presenters for this evening, or your presenters for this evening are PJ and me. The reason we are speaking about the threat landscape of the year of 2022 is because now more than ever, we are seeing that there are many cyber threats that are going to be surfacing in the coming years as technology becomes more prevalent in our lives, and we want to make people aware of what these uh, threats are so that they can keep themselves and their families' information safe from any cyber threats. Cyber threats are constantly evolving on parts of the internet. The fight between those looking to use the internet for criminal activity and those trying to stop them is nonstop. There are several types of cyber threats that can make up the internet's threat landscape of today. We're going to begin with ransomware. So, as you already know, the threat landscape is already reaching all-time highs. Due to war happening currently in Ukraine, there are many cybercrime groups that are attempting to show their solidarity with Russia by committing higher numbers of cybercrimes. And these numbers are predicted to grow in the year of 2020 and into the future. You may find yourself at risk if you are a part of or you own a small organization or a medium-sized one. Many times, if a ransomware attack is successful in their uh, sabotage of a company, a lot of times these small and medium-sized companies won't be able to recover from such an attack, and their information could potentially put them out of business if they do not recover it in time. Um, Additionally, it's important to know that uh, these smaller attacks are only starting points before a hacker group will attempt to extort ransom payments from higher target companies or organizations. So it's never just one attack. You're usually going to see uh, uh, one small company or medium-sized company be attacked, and then later on, a larger sized company also sees that they are being ransom ransom attacked. Uh, Luckily, there's things that can be done to prevent that from happening. In order for businesses and organizations to protect themselves from such attacks, they always have to be prepared for the worst. That means having a written incident response plan updated every 6 months, testing employees with surprise phishing and social engineering tactics so they know not to give out certain information or to, you know, basically ask themselves, is this information I should be giving out so easily? And looking out for suspicious emails, text messages that could put their uh, place of employment at risk. Also, storing backups on offline servers. Uh, that way, if hackers do get into the system, the business will always have some sort of backup. Multi-factor authentication is a very strong way of preventing stolen credentials that can be that could potentially lead to a ransomware attack. Lastly, testing cybersecurity defenses so that any flaws are found and fixed before hackers discover them first. Now I'll be passing on the presentation to my partner.
Hello, class. How are we doing? This is PJ. I'm here to finish up the rest of the presentation. So to begin the transition, ransomware is indeed a subset of malware. Malware is a more general term for these type of various cyber attacks. There's all types of, attacks or spyware and everything. But I'm doing a more broader presentation, and I'll give you a few examples on how you can prevent these type of cyber attacks. So for the standard definition of malware, is any software that disrupts, damages, or gains unauthorized access to a computer system. So that's the basic definition of malware. I'm sure there's something that's more in depth. Uh, how do you know you got malware? Well, basically, there's going to be like a couple of signs. There's really a lot, but here's just a couple. Well, you might be able to tell if your operating system slows down, your computer slows down, or whatever device you're using. Another clue is that you have too many screens. You have too many screens, too many pop-up ads on your computer, and a lot of them will try to get you to click on them by saying, "Hey, you want some free money, or you want free this, you want that." Don't click on them. Nobody's that nice to give you that money. Okay. And last, the obvious signs is that, well, if you already have antivirus protection, it will stop working. So those are just a few signs. There's many more out there that you guys can look up. All right. Well, as for a famous case of malware, now this famous case was a ransomware malware attack known as Bad Rabbit, and it happened in 2017. Basically, it disguised itself as a Adobe Flash installer, and it imported, and many hackers were in control of these compromised websites, and they were controlling these websites. And when people visit these websites, it would ask them to download this malicious installer that would basically spread a virus to their computer, and it would hold their computer for ransom, taking important information, and it would ask you for a certain sum of money to get your files back, basically stealing your files and holding them up for ransom, like ransomware is. And yeah. Get on to the next part. How to prevent? You could basically install antivirus software. You can put anti-spyware on your device. So that's step one. Step two, make good use of secure authentication, strong passwords. That same thing as number four, secure authentication, whatever goes along with that. Update your software pretty frequently. Implement email spam protection. Check out for spam emails, emails you don't recognize. On to the next part, phishing. Phishing is a type of cybercrime. It's pretty general. Phishing is a type of cybercrime where you're targeted, contacted via email, telephone, text message by any malicious entity posing as a legitimate institution, tricking individuals into sensitive data such as passwords, banking information, or other personal credentials information. My bad. An individual may be targeted by phishing for multiple reasons, and usually the attack is in mass, targeted large groups of people at once. Criminals may seek to gain to a person's social media accounts such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, by tricking them into giving passwords. The criminal's intent is also to be much worse and can attempt to trick you into giving much more sensitive information, giving, banking, personal identification, SSN, stuff like that, basically. Phishing business. When phishing is aimed at a business, they typically target employees. The criminals attempt is also likely to gain access to sensitive or private information, or even control the certain systems. They're basically trying to trick these people who work at a certain place into giving up the sensitive information and that their company holds for whatever gain. It might be financial or maybe, I don't know, personal. Who knows? Yeah, stay out of there. Safety. And that is our presentation. Our works site is right here. If you guys are interested in any of this, just stay safe out there in the cyberspace. The end.